Well, controversy has not been new to Shashi Tharoor ever since he became a minister in this government, in fact, ever since he joined politics. But many of the earlier political controversies seem marginal, even trivial, in fact, flippant, compared to the political challenge he's facing right now, where his very integrity has been questioned, with the BJP and the CPM both saying that Shashi Tharoor should step down. Joining us now is the man who's dominated our headlines for the last 48 hours, Minister of State for External Affairs.
Not willingly.
Not willingly, I'm sure, Shashi Tharoor himself. You're still smiling.
Thank you, Barkha. Well, what can you do, frankly? I mean, this is so preposterous that I'm still reeling sort of in shock from what I've been hearing over the last few days on the television screens of our country and in the press, of course. The fact is that I've spent a lifetime in international public life without the slightest taint, the slightest hint of anyone besmirching my integrity. And to see it being done here is really, I mean, to me, it's astonishing, because it's the one thing that I never thought anybody would have ever any excuse to say against me. So I'm pretty angry. I mean, you know, I've got to a point where I realize that there's almost nothing I can do right, it seems, without being seriously attacked. And in this particular instance, what I did as an elected representative of my state, of Kerala, and the capital of Kerala, was to say, let me try and help get an IPL team to my state. And that's all I've done. I've mentored a group of business people who had their own consortium, of which I'm not a part, and they've come in and they've participated in a fair and transparent bidding process and won. And it seems that somehow that is too much of an unpardonable act, and this is what I'm being blamed for.
Let's look. You've said a few things in that statement. Let's look at the central charge. What is the central charge? Very simply, it's alleging that you are guilty of a kind of quid pro quo, where you have used your political influence as a minister in this government to get a team for Kochi, in return for which a close associate of yours, Sunanda Pushkar, has been granted 70 crores worth of free equity, sweat equity, call it what you will. The charge is Shashi Tharoor has misused public office. The charge is one of quid pro quo.
Well, number one, how on earth can any minister use influence to get an outcome guaranteed from a closed envelope process?
Why do you say that? Doesn't politics drive a lot of the IPL?
Perhaps it does, but as far as I'm concerned, I didn't even know the amount this team was going to bid. That wasn't part of my help for them. So whatever they bid, they took a chance in putting forward a number which might have been higher or lower than many of the other bidders. There were 5 bidders after all. And it so happened that their bid was the second highest bid. It could have been the third highest bid and they could have lost. No minister can guarantee that they will know the numbers of all the other bidders. And I certainly had no basis for doing that. So I failed to understand how I could have used ministerial office, or anybody could have used ministerial office, to guarantee the outcome. Indeed, if the outcome could have been guaranteed, I'm fairly sure that slightly more powerful and influential people would have won this bid. The fact is, these people organized in the Kerala consortium, the Kochi consortium, actually managed, by fluke perhaps, to give themselves a number that would get them the bid. And the result has been that they have aggrieved a lot of people who expected the team would go to them.
You said in the statement that you issued to the media that whatever be your relationship with any member of the consortium...
Yes, I haven't got to that second point.
Yes. The reason I raise it, and I want to clarify something. Sure. I don't believe that your private life is anybody's business.
Exactly.
And so therefore this is not about your personal life. The reason that this comes up is because this is an association that has been public. It's been visible in public circles. It's been visible in political circles. For example, your recent meeting, your recent trip to Assam. We've seen those images on our television screen. So what the opposition is saying is that, look, this is a public association. This is an association that's now been observed by political circles. I.e., your equation with Sunanda Pushkar and her getting this amount of equity is no longer about your personal life.
No, I take that's precisely the charge they're trying to levy. The fact is, first of all, that there is a consortium with people in it. She is one of several people, some of whom I don't know you, I've not even met, and some of whom are part of this rendezvous group. She is somebody who's been a senior business professional, who has worked in brand management, event management, and so on in the past, and was invited to help the consortium. As far as I understand, and I'm not part of this business arrangement, it is sweat equity, that is, she is supposed to earn it over the years of the franchise, and if the franchise succeeds, because currently, as you know, there is no money that anybody is making in a new team. They actually have to function. They're going to have to incur losses for many years, and at some point in the indefinite future, there might be profits to be gained. That seems to be the arrangement. Now, I can't speak for Rendezvous. They have to judge who they want and for what purposes. But I have a pretty good idea of why they wanted her and what role they wanted her to play. My involvement has nothing whatsoever to do with her. Because as far as I was concerned...
In the sense?
I was approached by one of the Gaikwad brothers who was putting together this consortium. As far as I was concerned, if somebody else had approached me, and indeed at a certain time another business consortium did approach me, I would have said, fine, go with them. In fact, I think it can be revealed that there was an earlier consortium, differently constituted, with only some of the elements of this consortium, that made a bid in the first unsuccessful bidding round. Sunanda Pushkar was apparently not part of that. It was a different group that was involved. And as far as I'm aware, if a third team had come to me and saying, will you help us? My only message was this: think of Kerala. My whole argument was, Kerala has certain advantages that I would hope that you as a business person would be interested in, and I as a representative of Kerala would like to see cricket coming to life in Kerala. It's a place where the growth potential is enormous. It's a place where there is a hungering for this sort of activity. There is a diaspora, particularly in the Middle East, which would love to follow a Kerala team. And these are all advantages that a Kerala team would have. And this argument I made. Some were persuaded, some were not persuaded. If you see what I'm saying. As far as this particular outfit is concerned, they were persuaded, even though most of the promoters are not even from Kerala. And I'm very pleased that they were. But as far as I'm concerned, I neither was in a position to guarantee any outcome, nor was I in a position, therefore, to demand anything in return for it. And I naturally did not. As a minister, I would not demand. I even write articles very occasionally, because time doesn't permit. I don't take any fee for it. The rule is very clear. When you're drawing a salary as a minister of the government of India, you don't have additional sources of income. So the question would not even have occurred to me.
Hence the charge that Sunanda Pushkar is a front for Shashi Tharoor, because you can't accept that equity yourself, because this is a visible and public close relationship of whatever kind.
That means I'm really dumb, Barkha, because if I really wanted to do something corrupt, I would do it somebody that I'm open in public and relaxed with. I mean, for God's sake. It's precisely because there is nothing to hide that I have not hidden anything. The entire point is, if I was going to be doing something corrupt, which would never have occurred to me because I've never been corrupt in my life, so I don't think that way. But if I was going to do it, would I do it? Then I would have asked some other personal friend or whatever to cover for me. It's a bit insulting that somehow our media can't accept the notion of an attractive woman as a capable professional in her own right.
You're saying this is about sexism?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Because it's insulting to say that she must be there as a proxy for me as if she has no capabilities of her own. To be very honest, she has had a business career and has built up business assets and so on, far in excess of anything that I can bring to the table. I would not even presume that she would need to act as a proxy for me.